I already cut a video on the shooting of Sidney Wilson, an African-American former basketball player. Almost everyone misunderstood my video because they didn't watch it to the end. I promised at the end of that video to publish a follow-up. Well, here it is. A lot of people have already analyzed the event from the angle of justification. Was the police officer right in his actions? Only a moron thinks it was unjustified, so I chose to do something else. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With cold, blunt analysis cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's time for the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
This shooting occurred in Virginia, but suppose that Sidney had moved to Oakland instead. In Oakland, they'd never send a cop with a gun to do a welfare check on someone like Sidney. She was black, and we all know that sending a cop to pay a visit on a black person is like a death sentence. I mean, you saw what happened. An armed cop went to the scene, and she ended up dead. Is this not proof? Instead, in Oakland, they use social workers. So, let's imagine if the cop was accompanied by a social worker. Here goes. Where is this taking place? Well, we can Google map their whereabouts. Initially, all three are at the door of Sidney's apartment, right here. I'm using a red dot for Sidney to represent her rage. You thought I'd use black, didn't you?
That's racist.
I'll use a blue dot for the officer because, well, I think that's pretty obvious.
Now remember, there is no need for violence. Get your hand off your gun. You cops are always just looking for an excuse to hurt people of color. I am trained in de-escalation, so you just stand aside and don't interfere.
How are you?
So the cop is under attack and getting his face all knifed up. Where are they now? The cop and Sidney are still here. The social worker is about here, scampering across Webster Street. Oh, I forgot to tell you that I'm using yellow for her.
Back up! No! Over here! Back up! Back up! Over here! Over here! Hey, man. I got nothing to do. Please back up. Oh, yeah. Back up.
As you can see, the pig is using his gun to shoot the hapless basketball player of color. Where is the social worker at this instant? We go back to the map and see that she's sucking down tea at a therapy lounge for cat owners called Purrs and Paws near the corner of 23rd and Broadway. Keep in mind, however, that Oakland wants these social workers to handle these events all by their lonesome. After all, you can't defund the police by replacing officers with social workers if the social workers have to have an officer with them. Having social workers work these incidences alone sounds dangerous, but remember, the social worker is like a de-escalation commando. What social workers actually do to de-escalate an attack like this is evidently top secret, because I've only asked them a million times to tell me what they actually do, and they refuse to tell me. The conversation usually goes something like this.
The cop didn't have to shoot her.
Well, she was about to crush him with a Cat D9.
This is just another needless killing of a woman of color.
What should he have done instead?
He should have de-escalated.
By doing what?
You're racist.
Tell me that isn't 100% accurate. Yeah, I don't know if that will really work. I think our social worker's friends will soon be taking a trip to the Yosemites to sprinkle her remains at the foot of Bridal Veil. But the good news is that Sidney survived to stab the next poor soul knocking on her door. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.